On September 26, 2020, the team at Virginia Paranormal Investigations responded to an apartment in Richmond, Virginia, where a man's life was being impacted by a seemingly dark force. So we're here with Chris in an undisclosed location in Richmond, Virginia. And one important message that a lot of people miss today, they believe in God, they believe in Jesus, but they don't believe that the devil is real. And that's the devil's biggest weapon, is getting people to not believe in him. Wouldn't you say?
Yes.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yes.
And in not believing in him, it gives them the ability to kind of move throughout society, move among us, and impact our daily lives. And Chris has had some experiences here where something has been impacting him. It's not a haunted house that we're investigating. It's somebody that has had something impacting his life, right? Do you want to share just a brief kind of summary of how the impact has been?
It's something that follows, wherever I go. It's not a house, just like John said. It's something that follows wherever I move to, wherever I go. It impacts other people around me negatively, not positively. Just the whole moods just change. It's just my whole take on religion. Christian, I believe in God. I'm a strong believer in God, and the devil is real. It's totally real. He's here to rob, kill, destroy. He doesn't want us happy. Bottom line.
Absolutely. And some interesting things too to consider. A lot of people think of the devil attacking them and them becoming possessed or their life falling apart. But if the devil can't get to you, if you have a wall up where these demons can't get to you, sometimes what they may try to do is impact the people around you. So people that are close to you in your daily life that these demons can get to, they may try to work through them by getting to them, turning them against you, causing these problems within your relationship with these people. So that's one thing to consider that we don't really think about. We often think about people becoming possessed, but we don't often think about us perhaps being the target and the devil impacting people around us. So this is a unique case, it really is. Now, what we're going to do is, because there's always the possibility of some sort of a spiritual attachment, we want to, if there is anything that is attached, that is here, we do want to give it the ability to communicate. So we would run a spirit box session, if that's good, which is a radio that scans through the channels. If anything talks, it talks. If it doesn't, it doesn't. And I'd also like to just set up an EMF detector, basically, and see if anything interacts with it. Because there have been cases where it was believed that somebody had a family member that was perhaps attached to them. And in that case, if that is the case, that there is a family member or something else that's attached, perhaps it would give this person means to communicate. What we're doing is a baseline EMF sweep. Since we're going to be using an EMF detector, I just want to see what the levels are in the house. That way, if something spikes during the course of us questioning, we'll know that it's something that wasn't there at the beginning. We'll know where all the spikes are. So far, going around, very low levels, even in the kitchen. And this is a very good thing. Now, one reason to measure for EMF levels, and granted, even though you just moved into the house, but the EMF levels can impact people. They really can. They can impact people negatively. They can also theoretically give a spirit a means to manifest more energy. So in seeing what the levels are and them being low, that's very good. It's very good. Because they say if you sleep with your phone too close to you, can really mess you up. And they haven't done extensive research, but you can start getting headaches and dizzy and even like seeing things and hearing things. So it's good to have these low levels in the house, that's for sure. Okay, so we're just going to set this in the middle of the floor here. All right. And those little numbers will fluctuate. That's only a fraction. So it's a 0.1. Anything more than a 3 is significant. And there's nothing been even up to a 1, a solid 1, in this room of the house. Okay, I'm Jeff.
I'm Linda.
And you know this gentleman right here, perhaps if you've been with him for any extended period of time, we put this up as a means for you to possibly communicate. The gentleman that lives here, he believes that someone else may be here with him as well. And we want to confirm that you don't have ill intentions. We want to confirm that you're not demonic. So if you are not demonic, could you tell us who you are? Radio chatter.
Samsung.
Yeah, that's not a thing.
Yeah, but what was that before that?
Sounded like radio chatter to me, but we'll have to listen to the recording, of course.
Okay.
Have you been following him for a long time?
Why did you start following him? Okay. What is your name? Do you affect the people that are around him? The people in his life?
In Jesus' name, tell us your name. If there is something demonic here, in the name of Jesus, I command you to say your name.
If you do not want us here, make this meter turn yellow.
What?
38.
Did it say something about hate beforehand?
I heard hate.
Hate.
Hate and 38.
Yeah. Hate can be a name.
Hate.
That's how, like a demon will never tell you its true name. It identifies itself with its function, with what it carries out.
Oh yeah.
Hate.
And that's interesting, hate, because of what's been going on. It would be fitting. If you are hate, we would like you to leave this gentleman alone. If you are hate, I believe in Jesus' name, we could command you to leave this gentleman alone.
What is my name? My name is Will. Can you repeat the word Will?
I didn't understand that. What did it say?
No.
No.
Did sound like it said no.
It just said no.
Why can't you say Will's name? If you can say hate, you should be able to say Will's name.
Do you not like me?
We were trying to get it to say his name. Yeah. And it said no.
So hey, so we do. You see what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
But like we do things and have tendency.
I
I had an idea. Well, we stepped outside, and I'm not through here with my phone recording. You asked a couple questions and see
React to you.
if you're comfortable with that.
Yeah, I think that's a good idea.
All right, so we turn this off or we leave it on?
No, we're gonna leave it
EVP?
on, and he's gonna keep his phone running in here. Will's gonna have his video running, and we're gonna leave the customer here in the house with it, and he's gonna ask a couple questions, because maybe if we're not here or not in the immediate area, and he asks the questions, it could be that it responds to him more than it does any of the rest of us for some reason.
So y'all want upstairs?
Yeah, upstairs or out the door, whatever. Yeah, yeah, we'll go upstairs and leave him here for a few minutes.
All right.
Show me how to do this.
You just have to ask questions. You know, anything that comes to mind.
So when we were talking, we heard some taps in the walls up here where there's no apartment building near there. It's all outside from that area, so we're hearing like taps in the walls as if someone was doing this to the bulkhead here. So and Will and I both heard it here. So we both looked in that corner of the room, and he was mentioning that there was tapping that he had experienced in another house where there was some paranormal activity that he had witnessed with cabinets opening and things like that. So that's the only thing we found so far.
Now, Alex has some mediumship capabilities, and you know, is very sensitive and has some abilities. And he said that he didn't really feel anything negative when he walked in, when he has been wandering around here. I made mention that we always try to keep an open mind about things because in our experience, whenever there was something negative in the house, it usually tries to get away. It will completely leave the house, go out into the yard, go out into the woods, whatever the case is, to try to avoid us. And then it leaves the house not feeling too bad at all, but that doesn't necessarily, I guess, exclude the fact that it could be something here. And indeed, it does actually feel pretty good in here. It may be a little bit of a strange sense because of the architecture, because you have these giant steel I-beams that are kind of suspended above us, and the old wood and everything, and it could be that, just kind of lending to this little bit of a strange feeling. But I don't know. So far, it could very well be that whatever's attached to him is not necessarily demonic. Maybe it's something in the way of witchcraft or a curse that's been put upon him. And that's often something that's hard to feel or hard to detect or hard to get a sense of, because sometimes that comes in the form of energy. Like this one place we walked into where it was nothing but like burning, like you'd walk through the house and your feet would burn.
I remember that.
Yeah, it was a strange place, but we definitely had the idea that it was witchcraft in that place, that something had been put upon this gentleman, and that was what he was experiencing.
And that's a good thought. So are you thinking that are you feeling anything around this place, or?
I felt it as soon as we pulled up, and me, I'm more of an empath, so I'll feel it physically in my body. My heart rate will start to rise, and I'll start to get cold sweats and things like that. It felt like something that wasn't, something demonic is going to be quite obvious. Even if it's hiding, it has a very distinct feeling to it. And I don't believe that this is what it is. It does feel strange. It's not, I can't say that it's malevolent, but I can't say that it's benevolent either. I don't know what it is, but it seems to be fading in and out. Like, it was very strong when we came here, and then it lessened much more. And it sort of is coming in waves now. So I don't know exactly what it is. I'm not getting any names or anything.
Did you feel that it was attached to the building, or to him?
It was to him.
To him.
It was definitely to him, because it was surrounding him.
If it were witchcraft, would you pick up on something like that?
If it was witchcraft, it would have a completely different feeling, I think.
Different feeling?
Yeah. So it would be more demonic.
Yeah, and that makes sense, because we actually talked about before how witchcraft, someone's casting a spell, impacting someone's life. What is carrying out these spells? It's got to be something demonic that's carrying out the spells.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right? Yeah.
Maybe. I mean, we don't really know the true nature of how it works. We don't know if it's just some sort of energy that can be cast on these people, but or if the demon actually sits there and, you know, and affects somebody constantly, or if it's something that the demon can leave behind and then leave and go about his business. Like in the case of the burning feet, that's really all that they experienced in that house was this strange feeling of having your feet burn.
Yeah.
It was only females. I'd find it hard to believe that a demon would hang out constantly just making sure that any female that walks in has burning feet. So,
Seems more like a spell.
more like something, yeah,
I
energy.
do
More
have
like
fairy
energy.
tears out in the truck.
And?
It's supposed to. It's
I got
supposed
some
to,
trail mix.
it's supposed to ward off the spells. Remember?
Oh, okay. It's, yeah, well, that was a nice little story about volcanic rock. But, you know.
I'm still going with fairy tears.
Fairy tears.
So we came back downstairs, and the spirit box fairly quiet, right? While we were up there.
Yeah, I mean, I had the radio signals and little different stuff, and I heard like, I couldn't get I don't know if that was channel signal, but I heard like not a voice like you said no or something like that, but I don't know if that was a channel background, like a person speaking or whatever like that. Or,
Right.
I don't know what that was. I don't know if it was one of those channels or what.
Yeah, and with this, unless it's a direct response to your question,
Yeah.
and even sometimes when it is, we typically have Linda wearing the headphones. So without that, even when we hear no, there's several words that sound will be in. If part of a word came through and just happened to be coincidence that one time, it may not have even been a direct response, you know? So I'm not sure we have enough through the spirit box to say that something was communicating with us. So one thing we did learn is that it doesn't want to talk to us.
Yeah. But when Linda said she saw something upstairs, it was kind of like a relief to know that to say that, hey, it's something there, but it just for some reason it don't want to communicate.
What did you see upstairs?
As I was standing there and I was talking to Chris, there was this little, like a white pinpoint of light, and it originated maybe about a foot or two beyond his shoulder, and then it swooped up in this kind of backwards capital J and went up towards the ceiling. And I think that, that Will had seen it again a little later on, but it's just this little speck of white light and floating around kind of thing. And I'm not sure whether it came out of him or whether it was just something lingering around him, and that just happened to be how I saw it, was to go up like this. But
How big did you say it was?
it was tiny. It was like a little pinpoint of light. So like if you can imagine like seeing a star out in the night, you know, maybe a fairly bright star like the North Star. That's how it appeared, but it was inside the building and during the daylight.
So what would you think about that? Would you think that would be a good thing or a bad thing, or what are the possibilities with something like this happening? Have you heard of this before?
I've heard of this before, but I keep an open mind about it because I've heard of things that are negative and demonic appearing to be a white light to fool you into thinking that there's something good, because everybody associates the white light with something good. Does it
Oh
say
yeah, point three. That's okay.
Yeah.
It's got to be like like
3.0.
3 on the other side of it. Yeah.
Yeah. But you know, then I've seen cases too where something was floating around that appeared to be black, that was just this dark shape, and it didn't necessarily mean that it was evil. So I keep an open mind about that. I can't say that I know enough about the spirit world or about how things manifest to be able to make a determination one way or the other whether it's something good or bad.
So based on what Alex said when we came up, and based on this leaving, it's very possible that perhaps there was something here and we just caught the tail end of it.
It could be.
Obviously, it heard him talking to us
Yes.
and maybe wanted to hightail it out of here, whatever
Right.
it was.
Knew what our intentions were. Yeah. Now Alex has said a few things,
3.9.
and when we went,
What was it?
That thing went up to a 3.9.
Oh, the little one up there? What
Yeah.
is the little number up there? Do you know?
The little is where it peaks at.
Oh, okay.
That's saying that basically this went up to 3.9 at some point. It might have just been a quick flash.
Yeah.
I saw
Up to
where-
3.9.
I was gonna ask you if you had a stud finder. Maybe that was when it peaked. Because I saw where it peaked. Will was scanning it and it went all the way up.
Oh, it was upstairs?
Almost.
Yeah, when you put it towards the ceiling, it goes up.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
It could be
okay.
electrical wiring running through. We don't know how the wiring runs in these places, but Alex had mentioned something when we were upstairs just a few minutes ago, and it's kind of the same reason I had asked about his family and his, things like generational curses. I think that's one of the things that would be fairly easy to eliminate. We have some simple like prayers and things you can sort of meditate on that we're supposed to get rid of generational curses and anything that may have been passed down through your lineage, because it's often a big mystery. A lot of people don't know what happened generations and generations back in their family history. So it could be something that has filtered down through that. And I think that would be somewhat of a simple thing to be able to eliminate. And we're still not positive that this is something demonic. In a sense, it could be that there's some other spirit, normal human spirit, that's at work here for whatever reason. It could be witchcraft. It could be something that was put upon him at some point, but because he maybe angered somebody or pissed somebody off, and you just never know about these things or how they're going to manifest, how witchcraft will manifest in somebody's life. So I think it'd be a good idea for us to go back over the audio, maybe send them a little bit more information in addition to the self-deliverance stuff that we'd already sent them, and see if we can, help them out, help them get rid of this.
Like this was years ago. When you asked me the question about I dealt with anybody that dealt. I was a girl I used to talk to. She got her and her sister used to not always, but go see a palm reader and something like that. And I used to tell her like that stuff opened doors. I don't, fool with that. And like then you had other people that, like you say, you don't know who deals. Sometimes you don't know who you hang with. They're not going to tell you everything.
Absolutely.
right.
Is y'all on good terms though? You don't mind me asking?
It was, I wouldn't say bad terms, but it was like the stuff she was doing. I didn't want to be involved in it. Like I came to her apartment one day, and I saw like, drugs and stuff like that, or whatever, like sweeping up like pills, and I knew what it was, and I said I gotta get out of this thing, And I told her, basically I'm leaving, I gotta go. And the last thing I can say, the last thing she said was, I'm gonna make your life a living hell if you leave.
Huh.
Yeah.
That's interesting too, because we talk about a lot of times people looking for answers, and that's a perfect opportunity if there is a demonic presence for it to attach to that, get a doorway to come in because you're looking for answers. I'm going to give you those answers and make you think you're getting them from someone else that's not really this person, like it's not really your deceased grandfather that you're talking to. It's something posing as him to kind of get into your life.
But I think what it was is like nothing. It's just like I'm just trying to leave, get a clean slate, get out of that, because I didn't know for sure. But I think most of the time you deal with a person that's like on drugs, you could be some infidelity. I didn't want to be, the stuff that she probably was into. I didn't want to get, I didn't want to get caught up in. And it's like they always say she was younger than me, but a lot of people try to say that. Hey, I was young, I didn't know. When you have somebody good, it's no excuse.
Yeah.
And she, I think what it was, the fact that I was a good person and I was leaving. I'm gone. I'm out of here. She couldn't. It's like some people. I think I can say this now. Some people are like this. You stick around till I get myself together. You're gonna deal with you let me do what I want to do. You stay here. It doesn't work like that.
Right.
Some people actually feel like
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
you can stick around. No, you're gonna stay here and deal with me until I get myself together.
Yeah.
But she was into. I think she was into some dark stuff, some crazy stuff.
It could have been.
What year was this? Do you know?
This was what was the situation? What was it? Let me get my years right. I think it was about 7 years ago. 7 years ago. 7 years ago. 7 years ago.
Okay.
And she said those was the exact words. And I'll mention this. I'll say one bad thing that did happen. I'm gonna tell you how this is. Just for the record, God is real. It was she actually, when she said she was gonna make my life a living hell, she took out a police report, said I assaulted her. And I'm gonna tell you how it really is. Do you know that thing was on the docket for over a year before the police had got me? And I'm gonna tell you, they don't go door to door. I was taking a lady that lived across the street from me in my house to go vote because her card broke down. I was gonna take her to Raccoon County. We was about to get on the highway. I just came from the inspection store to get my car inspected. The mechanic said, I can't do it right now. I got a lot of stuff to do. Give me one more day. In Richmond, they don't ride you too much. So I said, I'm gonna go ahead and take a chance, take this lady. Cop pulled me over, checked my license. License came back fine. Second of all, he came back. He said, you got a charge for assault on your record. And I told the lady who was in the car, my neighbor was like, oh my God, what did he do? And they said, they was trying to say, calm her down. I said, look, take my car home, call my aunt, blah, blah, blah. I'm gonna go ahead and cooperate with these gentlemen. And he said, I'm standing right there, put me in handcuffs. And he said, you don't know what's going on, do you? He said, He said, you ain't never been to jail before. I said, And he said, well, you have an assault charge out for you, and this thing has been on the docket for over a year. And I was like, he said, you don't know what's going on. He said, I tell you what, all this stuff about police brutality, there were 2 white cops. I stood in the middle with my hands in my back. They didn't throw me on the ground and do nothing at all. I waited for the paddy wagon and everything, got in the paddy wagon, I sat in the back of the paddy wagon. I said, God, I don't have the slightest idea what's going on. What do I do? Help me out, please. So they went to pick up another guy. We get to the police station. Do you know these two? One of the cops helped me down out of the paddy wagon, took me into the police station. I went to see. Usually they take you to jail first, but he took me to see the magistrate. We talked. He let me go on my own reconnaissance. Everything went backwards. I went. I left the magistrate, went inside. They took everything. They asked me all these questions. Did he throw me down or whatever like that? Took my jury, everything. When I walked out, came through the back door, walked out the front door, but I got fingerprinted before I was released. I've told some passengers, they don't even believe me on this.
Yeah.
To this day, I have not seen a jail. I
Wow.
haven't even been to jail. I went to court 3 times behind the second time, the Commonwealth attorney was like, to the judge say, I'm sorry that you had to take off work and come today because she didn't show up. The 3rd time, she finally came, whatever. And, they this, that, and the other. I still had a clean record. They sent me to anger management. I had to go to anger management for nothing.
Oh, jeez.
For nothing.
Yeah.
I mean, I had to play the role. It cost me
Right.
over $1,000
Oh, wow.
because of this. But what they say, what goes around comes around. I
That's
wouldn't
right.
deal with that person.
That's
but,
right.
But she did that because I left. And she said she was gonna make my life a living hell. I was in the classroom with guys that probably actually did it.
Right. Yeah.
And I'm sitting around looking like
You didn't belong there.
I didn't even feel like I belonged.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so she could be some of the source of this. There actually may be
could
something
be.
from this woman. She
But-
might have found a different way to get to you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But of course, we believe that you're doing the right thing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
By
But that to this day,
calling on your faith.
Yeah, I still don't. To this day, I tell anybody that I've told a couple of. You're only like one of the few people I told this story to. I got some guys out here to say you went through that and you didn't go to jail. This is just unreal. You did not go. I didn't see a jail. They supposed to fingerprint you first. They fingerprinted me and let me out the front door.
Wow. That's crazy. Like they just wanted them for the record, but they weren't going to hold you, so
Yeah.
they figured why follow
Yeah.
protocol.
So see, someone's watching over you.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I went ahead. I went through the whole anger management thing, and I had to go see a PO, and it was so crazy that at the end you wrote a letter and telling like, well, I learned this and that. And she called me back and said, look, I went to court today. They said, this thing is dropped. They dropped you. They said you like the second, third. They said, man, the judge was like, drop it.
Wow.
Because it was like, because they say he didn't have them. They basically looking at the fact he had no record.
Yeah, none at all.
He had nothing, done. There was nothing wrong. After all these years, you gotta think about it. I was like, that was the first time I had handcuffs on me. I think I was 41, 42.
Yeah. Wow.
So see, God is real, the devil's real.
That's what I'm saying. That was
somewhere in between. There's the mystery of these ghosts.
Yeah,
lingering around.
Somebody, like I say. But the thing is, I don't know what's going on with that person. But people like that, they have a hard time. That's all I can say.
Yeah, they certainly do.
Yeah, absolutely. If you think about it, another interesting thing, a lot of people ask, they'll say, well, how do you know that? They'll say that all ghosts are demons. I don't know. You know what I mean? I really, like I said, when we're talking about how deceitful the devil can be, you never know what's what sometimes,
That could have been a test.
Sometimes you can't even believe your eyes. It could have been a test.
Could have been a test of my faith.
It could have been.
I could, walk this walk.
Yeah.
Right.
And the thing with tests of faith that's important too is they don't necessarily show God. God already knows what you're going to do. The devil may want to tempt you, but also it makes you stronger because you see how you're going to react in a situation, and you see how strong your faith becomes and how strong your faith is, from that experience. You may step back and be like, wow, I didn't even realize I was that faithful.
Yeah,
and now I see
didn't
how
realize I was that strong to go through all that stuff. But I think that's the story that, that's just a story of faith right there, just what he can do.
Absolutely.
I still, like I said, I still haven't seen a jail cell. I actually walked through, I never forgot that day. I walked through the jail, through the whole building and not go behind one bar.
Wow. Yeah, somebody was looking out for you.
Yeah.
No further evidence was revealed in the evidence review. The possible responses that came through the spirit box were not typical of a demonic haunting. It is possible that they were voices from a bygone era, given the age of the newly renovated building. The team provided Chris with instructions for a self-deliverance in hopes that it would release any spiritual attachment that he may have.